Hi, everyone. Welcome to our bonus episode for the Friends in Fiction Book Club with our special guest, Ron Block. We are so excited that he's joining us tonight. And before we get started, since it's happy hour, we want to make sure everyone has their beverages. So grab your cocktails and your mocktails. I am drinking a dirty martini tonight with beautiful olives.
I
And
joined
Ron,
you in that. We made a deal.
we are twinsies. And
And I
Brenda,
am
what are you drinking?
I'm enjoying my ginger ale in my Tweety glass.
The
Good.
Tweety glass is what makes it, that's what sets it off.
But welcome everyone.
Yes. Ron, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here. It's so nice to be on this side of it for once and just be a guest. I don't have to have all the prep done. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we are very
We're so
excited to host
to have you.
We're so excited to host our very first happy hour, hopefully one of a series
Yes.
with Ron.
Oh, let's hope.
Well, before we get things started, because our distinguished guest is so amazing, it's only fitting that we give him a proper introduction. So, just in case you don't know, we know most of you do know, but Rod Block is the manager of the Cuyahoga County Library in Cleveland, Ohio. His passion for libraries, reading, and cooking have fueled non-traditional library programs and community collaborations. He was named a 2020 Library Journal Mover and Shaker. Of course, he was. During the pandemic, he has pivoted to hosting virtual author events and visits and cooking demonstrations. Ron also serves on the board of the Cleveland Independence and is a judge for the James Beard Cookbook Awards.
God, who is that you even are talking about?
Just some guy that we love, you know.
Wow. Thank you for that. You're so kind. You're so kind.
Well, cheers to you, Ron, and thank
Thanks.
you for joining us tonight.
Oh my God, it's my absolute pleasure. Anytime. And of course, notice I have my Mama Geraldine's here, and I can attest how delicious they are. And the Friends in Fiction discount actually is really, really awesome.
Yes.
Make sure you go and buy some.
If you go on Mama Geraldine's website and you use the code FAB5, you'll get 20% off your order. And you will not be sorry because the cheese straws are amazing. I can't wait to try the cookies.
I told you we just bought 2 cases.
You got cookies?
We bought 2 cases of them.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to try those. How about you, Brenda?
Mine have not arrived yet, so I was looking enviously at Ron's before we started live.
Well, I think we'll go ahead and get things started. First up, we're going to highlight some of our recommendations from African American authors in honor of Black History Month. So, Ron, if you'd like to kick us off,
I would like to
go ahead and get started.
Well, I always love that there's a focus on Black authors for African American History Month. I think people should read them all the time, especially in the times we're living in, especially the last year. I just felt, and this is taking my own advice too, is like read widely beyond your culture, because so many things that we feel like we know, but we really don't know. And things I have really been instrumental for me recently for that. The first title I have is 400 Souls, and it's a collection that was edited by Dr. Ibram Kendi and Keisha Blaine. And it actually talks about the 400 years since the first ship of slaves landed in Virginia. And it breaks it down into 40-year periods. And all of these amazing writers write stories and essays and poetry. And it's just so well written. And if you don't mind, I just want to read the very first paragraph, because it really was what drew me into it. Okay. In August 1619, when the 20 Negroes stepped off the ship White Lion and saw the British faces, they didn't know. As their feet touched Jamestown, Virginia, They didn't know their lives would never be the same. They didn't know they would never see their community again. That's so powerful. That's so powerful.
Wow.
Just made so reading through it, and of course I haven't finished it. It's a little thick. Really, everything is just so emotional, and it just I think it's great for people that are already scholars of the history of that, but it's even more special to people like me who don't know a lot of the things. And I say that, but that's just the world that I lived in and was brought up in. But I'm learning so much, and it just makes me just feel more aware, and makes me really happy to have that history for us to go. This is going to be a great reference book, so it's worth getting, and it's not a quick read, but it'll be a great reference for you for a very long time.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
It is. It is so well written, and I actually have the audio of it too. And the people that they have gotten to perform some pieces, you will blow your mind. It's that'll be a tease. So if you're an audiobook person, that's one to get. That's one to get. So a book that honestly, and anybody who knows me at all knows that this book really changed my life. I got a super early copy of it, and um, I read through it on the recommendation of somebody who knows me, and it's Caroline Levitt, the author, and she said, "This is the book for you. This is the book you're going to love." And she knows me, and she never steers me wrong. But when I got my copy of The Kindest Lie, I couldn't stop reading it, and I got into it, it just blew me away. Anybody who knows the story, it's about a successful Black.
Well,
What?
before you get into the story, we do have a little bit of a surprise for you. Brenda, I think you have the surprise.
I do,
Ron?
and I will have the surprise here in just a moment.
Oh,
Mm,
I've been fired. Oh,
no.
oh.
It's a message from Nancy.
Hi, everybody. This is Nancy Johnson, author of the debut novel, The Kindest Lie. I want to give a shout out to the members of the Friends in Fiction official book club. Love everything you're doing and all these wonderful books that you get to read. So cool. And I also want to give a special thank you to Lisa and Brenda and to Ron, actually Uncle Ron. He is the self-proclaimed uncle to my book, which is wonderful. And just to tell you a little bit about The Kindest Lie, the book is about family, sacrifice, and love, and the pursuit of the American dream, all of it at the dawn of the Obama era. And the story is about an unlikely friendship between a successful Black woman engineer who's searching for the son she walked away from to pursue her dream of becoming an engineer, and a poor young white boy in a dying Indiana factory town. There's so much to talk about in this book related to motherhood and sacrifice and the expectations of others, how tethered we are to our past. And I was inspired to write this book by what I saw in November of 2008 when Barack Obama was elected president. There was such a bitter divide, particularly between Black and white America, a lot of it having to do with the Great Recession and the economic strain that so many people were under. And it's just a parallel to where we are today with the economic struggles that so many of us are facing during the pandemic. But I really saw something interesting there with that financial anxiety that seemed to exacerbate racial tensions. And I wanted to explore that. And I truly do believe in the power of fiction, books like The Kindest Lie, to build empathy and to bridge understanding and to get us talking about some of these difficult conversations that, are very tough for some of us to have with each other. So I'm excited for everybody to read The Kindest Lie so that we can get together at some point and talk about it. Thank you guys so much, and take care.
Oh my God, that's wonderful. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you, Nancy. Couldn't you listen to her
Nancy, so
forever?
much.
I could listen to her
Totally
forever.
Totally
She wanted to
could.
be here tonight, but she had a book event that she already committed to. So she sent us that video because she wanted to be here and say hi to Uncle Ron, of course.
Uncle
So
Ron.
we wanted to make sure that you saw that before you talked about it.
It's a book I can't stop talking about. And just a little, I am Uncle Ron, because early on I adopted this book and I just showered it with as much love and tried to help get this book out there, because it's such an important book, not only for the issues of race and class, but it's a beautifully written debut. Everything about it just pulls you right into the story, and it's so well told, and she's so good at character development. And so as a book, and a book that you love, it's great, but also as a book that gets people talking. I think it was named Buzz, Book Bub. Anyway, it was one of their top 12 book club books for the year. So there's a lot to talk about. You know, it's about Ruth Tuttle, who's an engineer, and as she said, and it's how she ends up not telling, she doesn't tell her husband that she's previously had a child, and he pressures her to have one. And throughout their discussion of that, she realizes she has to go back and find the child that she gave up. When she gets back to her small town in Indiana, she runs into a young white boy, Midnight. This actually sparked a lot of very tentative discussions between Nancy and I. And it was just so nice to have somebody that I could talk to, because I come from a very, very, white thing. We didn't have a lot of exposure in the world. So a lot of the things about Midnight were things that I could relate to. And we just had a lot of really meaningful discussion. I want to have a book club every week about it. It's lovely. It's amazing. I could go on forever and ever, but do get The Kindest Lie. If you don't have it on your TBR pile already, put it at the top.
Absolutely. And Ron, I'll
Yes.
say, I was going to hold my copy up because I'm just starting to read it now, but my significant other just tiptoed in and absconded with my copy to look at it while we were talking.
Jim was
I
like,
guess that's
oh,
a good.
he's like, well, she's on the Zoom. I could steal her book right
Right, he
now.
just
She
sneaked
won't know.
right in.
And I'm just all about really supporting the authors and really trying to push and get people to know something that's really, really good. But they asked me to write something up about the book, and on the back of the galley, they actually put my blurb on. So it's my first official book blurb that I've done. So I'm just so like,
Realize that.
it's surreal.
That's
It's surreal.
awesome.
So it's just crazy. And just want to mention too that on March 22nd, Nancy and I are going to talk about race and fiction in America. But we have a special guest, and that's Jodi Picoult is going to be joining us. So written some amazing books on the same thing. And they're going to just talk about the power of fiction. This really is just powerful. It really does.
That book was on all three of our lists. The Kindest Lie was a pick for all of us. So
Yeah, of
we
course.
were so glad. Yeah.
How could it not be? I could talk about it obviously forever, but I'll move
It
on.
has returned.
Yay!
Oh, yay. There it is.
One thing I want to say
You
for
brought it
those hey, Jen. For those of you watching, if you have any questions for Uncle Ron, please leave them in the comment section, and we will periodically pull some questions for the chat, and maybe
Great.
have some fun questions for us too. So.
Yes, that's good. And of course, I don't think any collection would be complete without every home should have a copy of A Promised Land, Barack Obama's memoir, of part 1 of 3 that are coming out. It's a book that I'm going to read very slow, because it's just so meaningful and powerful. And even if you didn't necessarily agree with everything that he did as a president, as a person, it just is such a good read. It just restores a lot of hope in our country.
I think it's important for people with different views. I think it's important for people with different views to read different opinions. You know, if you're constantly only looking at news or reading people that think only like you, it's closing you off to so many things in the world. Right. So whether you agreed with him politically or not, I did the audio. I love, whenever I do memoirs, I love listening to the audio because I feel like that person is talking directly to me.
Yes.
And I did the audio, and I was blown away by it. It was long.
It's long.
But I was blown away by it. Yeah.
Just priming up for part 2.
But I'm
I didn't
still
know it was,
working. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just didn't know it was 3 parts.
It is.
That's incredible.
I didn't know that either. And, I have not finished it yet because it is so long and but one thing I found, like you said, Lisa, is, you get a different view of foreign affairs and that sort of thing when you see it in the book. It's a much more in-depth experience than just seeing news headlines.
Mhm.
And the other thing, even though I didn't have the audio book, I had the regular book, I could hear his voice in the way it was written. So that was kind of interesting too.
Yeah, it really is.
He's such a wonderful orator. Like the words just seem to come so easily for him, and it was beautifully written.
He's a beautiful writer and speaker. I started the audio as well. I'm kind of doing both, and to hear the voice again, it's pretty amazing.
know.
So it's great to have like facts and real stories, but it's so great to have the fiction as well, because I think with the fiction,
Mhm.
at least for me, I get more involved in it emotionally. Really, there's a couple of scenes in The Kindest Lie where I actually, and I'm not normally a crier, but they just hit me so much, and I'm gonna do it again. Anyway, you all have some recommendations as well,
Easy
don't
to
you?
do.
We do.
Yes.
And we
We
also are going to
do.
be taking questions from the chat. So do we have any questions for
Yeah.
Lisa, for Ron, about his prior
I
pick?
have a comment from Francine who
Hmm.
says that you need to sign up and do a cooking demonstration and event, and everyone would sign on.
Oh, well, stay tuned for that. Yeah, we're talking about doing some things. One of the programs at the library that we're doing is, since everybody was at home and couldn't get out, we had a contest. People would tell their family stories about a certain recipe, and we chose 3 winners. But when we shut down again in November, we had to postpone it. We're going to do it soon. I'm going to be doing some demos of those recipes coming up, and I'm going to do it in a big fancy kitchen. And it'll be like, oh, it's like a $45,000 stove I'm going to be using. And so we'll be doing that. Yeah, so there's some of that stuff coming too. And Francine, hello. It's so good to see you. Francine's such a great supporter.
Yeah, she is.
I love it when we get
One
headline
question I
news.
wanted to. Okay.
I was just saying, I
Go
love
ahead,
it
Brenda.
when we get breaking news on the book club.
We all. It's like keep drinking that martini so we can get more scoop. Take a sip. No. Cheers to you.
Stop.
And then I have another question for you.
Okay.
Ooh. So, one of the questions that we all love that they ask on the Friends in Fiction show, the Fab Five always ask their guests, how was the importance of reading in your household and growing up? Were you always a reader as a child, and how important was reading for you?
Is my
in your
mother
household?
is my mother watching?
No.
I'm
Lisa, no.
so I
Mine is, but
actually we didn't have a lot of books and reading in our home growing up. Like I said, I've grown up way out in the country, and my parents, they struggled. There were 5 of us children, so there's a lot of struggles. And my father was just a very hard worker, but he worked the land, and he worked, fancied himself a big farmer. We had a great big garden all the time, and my mom worked really hard and always kept up the house. But so there wasn't a lot of time and focus on that. And I had some exposure in my school library, but again, we were very rural, so we didn't have a lot of things growing up. But we had a pair of teachers that actually moved into the house near us in the little village I grew up. And one day I was shoveling their driveway, and I went to the door, and they were going to pay me. And when they opened the door and looked in, their walls were covered in bookshelves. And I was like, what? And anyway, so they kind of took me under their wing, and they just developed a love of reading for me. So it really did become so important to me through there. And I think that very day I knew what I was going to do with my career and with my life. And it's always, my father was like, we always had struggles between us because I was very book oriented and he was very mechanically oriented, and you can always hear the tapes in your head, and it's like, look at him, nose in a book. So that's kind of where it all happens. I didn't always have it, but I kind of got it on my own.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Brenda,
it's a tough story, but.
Do you want to do your picks, Brenda, next, or would you
Sure.
like
to? Excuse me. I'm kind of changing gears a little bit with my pick for Black History Month, because I recently discovered this author, and I think other people might enjoy her as well. I am reading Lean on Me by Pat Simmons right now, and she has written, I don't know, probably 30 books or so. She's very prolific. She's a Christian or inspirational romance writer. And I just kind of stumbled across her in my library listings, one day. And I'm really enjoying it. Lean on Me is the first in a series called Family is Forever. And I didn't realize that at the time, because I was mostly drawn by just the story or the summary and the cover, which is, these days so important for a book. But she was the Together We Read pick in February 2020 for the libraries in the United States. And I just was very impressed about that. But anyway, basically, she's an inspirational writer. She writes romance novels that are clean and that are just in this particular story, the protagonist is just a wonderful woman, Tabitha, who is caring for her great aunt Tweet, who has dementia, and it's a story about her kind of crazy getting thrown together with her neighbor through her aunt Tweet's wanderings, and it's just been very delightful to read. So that's going to be my pick. How about you, Lisa?
I'm getting, do you hear feedback? Okay, good. I don't hear it anymore. Okay. My pick, maybe it's the martini talking to me.
I think maybe.
My pick is a book that came out in 1999. It's called The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier. And I read that book in college, and it's about a young woman. Her name is Winter Santiago, and she was born in the ghetto during one of New York's worst snowstorms. That's how she got her name, Winter. And she is the daughter of a prominent Brooklyn drug family, like kingpin. Her dad was a kingpin, but she's very spoiled, quick-witted, seductive. She's very materialistic. She'll spend money on just about anything. And they move out of the ghetto into a rich suburban area. And her adjusting to that area, as well as still being a part of the life that she knows, it's really interesting. The book is really raw. It's shockingly real. And it brings light to the glitz and glamour, but also the ups and downs of the drug game. So it's definitely tough. Like, there's language, there's sexual scenes, but the book is written beautifully. And it's one of those stories that has stuck with me forever. Like I said, it came out in 1999. And the best thing, well, actually, here, I can share. Let me do a little share. The cool thing of the cover, the cool thing about it, though, is now, March 2nd, 2021, 22 years later, not that I've been counting, we finally get a sequel.
Yep, I was going to say.
To this book that I'm just like, oh my goodness, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So,
wait, is Sister Soldier here?
No, I wish. I did want to share the cover of the book for those that are watching. This is the cover of the book that came out in 1999, The Coldest Winter Ever. And on March 2nd, I cannot wait for this one. Life After Death is the sequel, the highly anticipated 22-year sequel that we've
Yes.
been waiting for.
It is.
So that's my pick, and that's kind of, I jumped ahead a little, but since they were together, that's my pick for one of my picks for anticipated, but they go together. So
That's so cool.
I can't wait. And I feel like I need to reread it because, you know, when I was in college, I was much younger than I am. I mean, we've already, you know, come to the conclusion that I'm 29 forever, but in college, my mindset was different. So I don't know, reading it now, it was gritty, but it was just so beautifully written. Yeah, it stuck with me for a long time. So that was
She really did.
my
She
pick.
did make her name in writing. I know she began as a music artist, but then she kind of switched to
Yeah,
writing.
she was.
Became really,
Yeah, she was like a rapper. I think.
really
Yeah, she was
revered
a
for her
rapper and a
writing.
poet.
And so are you
And
going
So
back to read the first one?
you know, I want to. I thought I could get it from the library because I have a copy somewhere that's probably buried in my books at my mom's house from all my college stuff that I never went through. But the wait at the library, you'd think the book just came out. It's like 300. It's like 300-day wait. I might just
Oh,
buy it off Amazon
probably,
or
yeah,
buy it from an independent bookstore if they have
that's
it.
right.
Some of them don't have the older books. I checked two here. They don't. They have the one that's coming out in March. So we'll see.
well,
Wow.
have you ever read a book later that you read earlier and then had a whole different experience with it?
Yeah,
Oh, completely.
What
I
was it?
I think I will with this one. You know,
That's what
I
I
think
was
I
thinking.
will.
It
But I
was
think
The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings for me. I mean, all of my life, I thought I love these books. I love these books, and I do. But when I went back and read them, they were totally different than
yeah,
my memory of the book
Yes.
as a you know high school student or whenever I read it. What about you, Lisa? Besides this one?
I know. I feel like I can't think of anything. Um, I read Wuthering Heights when I was really young. I was an avid reader as a child. I always read. I read it when I was like in 8th grade, I think. And then I went back and read it again in college, and it was so different. I probably shouldn't have been reading it it might have been 7th grade, 7th or 8th grade. Um, but when I went back and read it in college, it was such a different experience for me. So I think that's what's going to happen with this book
You do.
because I think Winter, the character, is going to probably get on my nerves a little more because she's really spoiled, really like, you know, she doesn't care about anything. She's manipulative. I mean, there's
Right.
so many things about her that you're just like, oh my gosh. But at the time, you kind of rooted for her, even though she was. So I'm excited. It'll be fun.
It's always good. Always good to go back and get a different perspective because we're different people now with different life experience. So you'll
Yeah,
see it very differently and absorb it quite
for
differently.
sure.
Absolutely, Ron. That's a really good point. It's so different.
Yeah.
So if we could, I can't believe we're already halfway through our time, but it
I
seems we
know. We
are.
can talk forever.
So I know,
Nice.
I guess we have to get to our anticipated new releases, but because we have some picks for those for everybody who's watching. And I guess
Yeah.
we'll start with Ron's picks. And if you have questions for Ron, please put them in the chat and we'll
Yeah, I'm
get to
halfway through my martini, so ask me anything.
I've got a couple. I've got a couple.
Okay, so I know that we talked ahead of time and we kind of divvied up some of the Fab Five books, but um, I went with this one, and I am a gigantic fan of Surviving Savannah. Patty
As
Callahan
are we.
Henry. It is unbelievable, and I will say it here, and I'll stand by it. This is the greatest work that Patty has ever done. If you don't already have it on your
Wow.
pile, you pre-order this. It's just so emotional. It's so well constructed. The storyline is just incredible. She's done her research and she's done it so well. And there were parts of this actually that deal with race that I was really kind of nervous for her about. But as I read it and stuff, and I went, Patty, you did it. You did it. You got it. But it's just all about, like she says, surviving the surviving. And it's the dual timeline between a woman who is a historian and she gets called to curate a museum exhibit about the Titanic of the South, which had an explosion that sank it in 1838. Is it? You know, but she went back and did the research on the actual people that were on the ship. So these weren't people that she just made up. She like they're actual people. Now she made up their stories and kind of put together. And I can't wait to talk to her more in depth about how she was able to do that, because sometimes books that have dual timelines, it's like one is maybe stronger than the other. They're both so equal. Everly part is just makes you want to move to Savannah, and just her story and her finding when Everly is doing her research, they actually have just found the wreckage. And Patty will tell you too that when she was starting to write, they actually found the wreckage of this actual ship. That kind of drove a lot of her story. So it's a triumph. Anyway, so I hope I didn't oversell it. I know I didn't.
Oh,
You will just be all over it.
I'm starting it this weekend, so
Are you?
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think, because if you want to have a private book club, so nobody
Yes,
knows with no spoilers, I'm happy. It's one of the books that I just wanted yap about. So that's my first one.
Oh,
Yay.
we will have to do that, because that is exactly what happened to me when I read The Winemaker's Wife. I got finished with it and I was looking around going, wait, I need someone to talk to about this book, because it was just so moving. And I'm sure, it's just Patty's is going to be the same way.
And when I finished The Winemaker's Wife, I was texting Brenda at 2:45 in the morning going, oh my gosh, you're so right. I want to talk to someone and I know you're asleep.
Do we want to go all three, or do you want to go round robin?
Why don't we go ahead with yours, because we can share,
Yeah.
if we run out of time, we can share our picks later.
Okay. Do it. Okay, my next one was a guest on Friends in Fiction a couple of months ago, and the new book coming out is called The Clover Girls, and it's by Viola Shipman, who we know as Wade Rouse. And I have known Wade for several years now, and I think with his first book as Viola, The Charm Bracelet, I think that's when we started really, doing events and things together. So I got an early copy. It comes out in May, but it's just another winner. It's another winner from this brilliant mind who can pull us all back to just heartstrings being pulled, and things that we have, heirlooms, nostalgia. This one's about girls that meet at summer camp and they become best friends. They're the Clover Girls. And then they kind of go their separate ways. And later in life, one of them needs to have the others come back. So they all get called back. And it's all about how they became friends and how their lives went forward. And just how when you have best friends, even though you might part ways or you might go different paths, you're still best friends. It's just really exciting, and it's one to watch for. And I think this is going to be his most successful one yet.
I love Viola Shipman books.
Right? They're just so brilliantly written, and it's like he whatever. Viola Wade. They know what you need to hear. They know what you need to hear, and he does it in his writing. But if maybe you don't know this, but before he was writing as Viola Shipman, he was writing as himself, and he had memoirs that will make you laugh out loud. Back and look for those.
I meant to look those up, because he talked about those on that Wednesday night, and I have not done that yet. When did you say that one is coming out, Ron?
This one's coming out May 18th. Yeah, May 18th.
Okay, wonderful.
Awesome.
So get that one pre-ordered too. Okay, I'm so excited about my last choice here. This one was such a surprise in one way, but not in another. It's When the Stars Go Dark, and it's by Paula McLean, who we know from Circling the Sun, The Paris Wife. Um, Everything she writes is just so good. And she's known for historical fiction. She's known to write about basically Ernest Hemingway's wives and then people that were in Africa and Circling the Sun in the aviation industry. But this one is a complete switch. This is actually a thriller. And it's a dark, dark, dark story about this woman who is has been brought up in foster care, but in her life, she has to try to help people. She becomes a police detective, and she helps to find missing teenagers, and that's her focus on it. So she gets called back, but she has her own past that she's bringing to it. She's got, and Paula put it in the like the time of the Polly Klaas disappearance, if you remember that, in out in California about the same time. But it's all that same energy and focus on finding these kids. But you learn her main character, Anna, you learn her motivation for finding these children, and just atmospheric, it's cinematic. And but one of the things I loved about it, it was set in the early 90s, so it was before internet, before DNA, so that all of these things could happen in the thing. And I also get the feeling that it's very personal, because Paula herself, if you don't know this already, was a child of the foster care system. She brings a lot, I think, of what she's gone through to this book, and it's just so I can't even say enough about it. It's just it's amazing. It's so well written, and I would know it was written by Paula because of the writing style, but the whole thriller thing and the exciting, and you don't know what's going to happen, and it's one of those page turners. Drops you off the cliff, and then she picks you back up, and just goes on and just like, and you don't know really who did it, and at the end, it's all a complete surprise. So you just can't figure it out. Make sure you get that one. This one comes out April. It says April 2021, April 13th. April 13th. That's another one.
I'm definitely going to add that to my TBR list. I love a thriller.
I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this one. And it's so much more than a thriller. It's a very literary thriller, because the way she writes, like all of a sudden you are in Mendocino, California, where she said it. You can hear the trees, you can hear the wind, you can just see it all. And that to me is a mark of a brilliant writer. Pull you into the scene.
Absolutely. I love the cover too on that one. It's really amazing. And I know we're not even finished with all of our picks, but it's funny how we've covered kind of accidentally covered a lot of different literary ground with all of our different picks. So it was pretty neat to see all those different ones.
Well, I think I'll do one of my picks quickly. And it's someone that we all love and someone that we know very well. One of my anticipated picks is Kristen Harmel's. I'm sorry, I don't know why that tickled me. The Forest of Vanishing Stars by Kristen Harmel, coming out on July 6th. I cannot wait to get my hands on this book. And I am going to share the beautiful cover because it is just that beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait for this book.
I can't either. Oh my
Brenda,
goodness.
do you wanna go next?
I will, but you know what? I'm going to kind of, if you finish sharing your screen.
Oh, sure.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's on my list too. The Forest of Vanishing Stars. Kristen Harmel is just so unbelievably amazing.
She
Her
really
books
is.
Stick with you. They stick with you, and her characters stick with you.
They really do, and I'm just so many good books to come. But I am going to very quickly mention two of my picks. One of them is Mary Kay Andrews, The Newcomer, which is coming up May 4th for publication. Woohoo!
Yay!
And And so, in her usual style, Mary Kay's protagonist, Letty, is running from New York City. She's on the run. And it's a really interesting tale of course, there's a murder. And, Letty has to kind of unravel it because it involves a member of her family. And I will be real brief about it because I know we're running out of time, but I'll mention that one. And of course, our own Mary Alice Monroe's upcoming book, The Summer of Lost and Found, which I understand Kristen is responsible for that title. So thank you very much, Kristen, because we are
Thank
loving
you.
it.
Thanks, Kristen.
The most amazing thing about this book, and I'll be brief, but is she wrote it in real time during the pandemic last year and had her characters undergoing all of those experiences that we all felt during the pandemic. So I'm really anxious to get a hold of that one. And The Summer of Lost and Found is coming out on May 11th. So with that, we have some folks who might have some other things to add.
I do want to mention this one quickly. Or we could just let some other folks in.
That's right. I think that they might want to speak to the picks that we just made themselves, because
Surprise.
here.
Hey,
Hi,
Ron.
Mary Kay. Hi, Mary Alice. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Brenda. Hi, Lisa.
Hey,
Hello. Hello.
I missed the
Hi.
martini memo. Are we having martinis?
We're having martinis.
I just
Some of us are. Some of us are
Hey,
having ginger
wine
ale.
is too.
Oh,
Happy
I'm
hour
going
is
to-
what you choose.
And Ron, do I spot Mama Geraldine's behind you?
Yes, you do.
I am
Yes.
so impressed.
Oh, here. You want to be more impressed? We bought 2 cases of them for Jeff, my husband, to give as thank you gifts to his clients. We loved them so much that we went ahead and did that and decided to do that.
I love that.
We love them. We love them.
And also, Ron, is that light behind you shaped like the Eiffel Tower?
Like what?
Like
Of
the Eiffel
course
Tower?
you would notice that. Of course
It
you
is.
would.
Yes, it is.
Can I just move in with you? You have Mama Geraldine's and Paris accessories and martinis. Like what?
Can I just say it's Lent, and I gave up wine and all alcohol, and your
Oh my
wine and
gosh.
martinis.
Dear.
It's killing me.
Oh,
Sorry.
That martinis, ooh, all those olives, yum.
I like a lot of olives. I like
Me
mine
too,
very
a dirty
dirty.
martini.
Me too.
Oh, you do like a lot of olives.
Lisa, you
Doesn't
are my.
she?
Oh my gosh, Lisa, you're
I
my
miss
twin in
you
every
all.
way. My twin.
We are twins.
Uncle Ron. Oh,
I miss you
good to
so
see you.
much.
Too.
Oh, I'm
It's so good. It was fun to watch. It was great to see.
Oh, fabulous.
Snuck right in here, didn't you?
That's right.
Well, one question that's been burning a hole in the chat, and now that we have some special guests, Ron, how did you meet these lovely ladies?
Well, that's a
Oh.
good story.
Tinder.
Isle of
Tinder.
Palm. I met
Let's
you
get
the
him on
same.
Tinder.
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 We met on Bumble. We met on Bumble.
My-
Bumble is safer, I hear.
Oh
so
gosh.
I have no idea.
So Mary Kay and I met each other at the library I worked at in Florida. She had a big event there, and I wish I had the picture of her in meeting the Queen. They had we used to have gigantic literary events, and
Oh gosh, that was so much fun.
oh my God, it's so much fun. And we've been, I think, best friends ever since. I had a little TV show in Florida, and she joined me a couple of times for that. And we stayed in touch, and I'd see her at library events, and it's just, it's
And
like
then-
you instantly fall in love.
And then Ron shares his library lady friends. So I became friends with Stacy, who's down in Palm Beach County, right, Ron?
She is, but she actually moved over to Lynn University.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she's not doing public libraries anymore.
Ooh.
I know.
Anyway,
And
I
then
made
we-
friends with all of his library ladies, and it was what a gift.
Now
Well,
we
you
met
shared
at a
too.
party.
Because I
Remember
met
Isle of, I'm sorry, we
at
met
the
at
Isle of Palms party.
Palms.
But before that, Mary Kay was actually instrumental in introducing me to people, because I went to an ALA event, and it was a panel there. It was Mary Kay, and she was next to someone else who's become a good friend, Stephanie Ivanovich. And she said, Ron,
Stephanie,
you're booking a
yes.
cook show. She needs to be your next guest. And Stephanie and I became fast
That
friends.
sounds like
And Mary Alice,
Stephanie.
you were there too. And I remember we talked about manatees or something.
I know, of course, it's
They have this great picture
But-
of you all assaulting that young, good-looking writer that wrote Red
Oh.
Rising.
Who was that?
Okay, we hear all kinds of things here first.
Oh yeah.
Happy
And-
hour is where it is. This is
I know,
where the
and-
fun happens.
And Kristen, who I feel like we have been BFFs for 100 years. Like I haven't actually physically met, but we
I
were supposed to,
know.
and it got canceled because of the pandemic. And
Yeah.
since then, we've done so many things together and gotten to know each other. And
Oh, and there
it's
goes
just,
Christy.
Yeah,
I
here's,
just-
Let's
here's a-
welcome her.
here's another one.
oh,
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Christy.
hello, Christy.
And you guys, Patty wanted to be here too, but it's her 30th wedding anniversary, and she had dinner with her
Aw.
husband. So we said,
gotta-
"Oh, no,
It's like a
Happy
pretty good
anniversary,
excuse.
That's a
Patty.
good excuse.
That's
Yes,
called
happy
family
anniversary.
service. You have to show up.
Yeah.
It kind of get in the way a little bit. Yeah, she called me earlier, and I said, just take your phone into the restaurant with you.
Right.
Okay,
And show that
Ron.
dirty martini. She likes those too.
Oh.
Ron, you were totally gonna laugh. So my parents are here, and I was saying to the girls that they've been here for 3 days and I have not had a meal with them yet because we've had so many events and stuff this week. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna take my phone into the restaurant because I can't miss Ron. So we're just gonna have to go out.
Aw,
Oh my God, what a treat. What a treat.
Oh,
it
that's
is a
fun.
treat.
You know who else is not here tonight but wishes she were here, Ron? Is Meg.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
how is
yay.
Meg?
She's a little better today. She was gonna try to get some of the COVID meds, but she, we met at a fun event with Ron in Isle of Palms, and Meg was there, and
Mary Alice was there too.
yeah, and Patty was there, wasn't she?
No, not this one, but Stephanie Ivanovich was there.
Stephanie Vine
Yeah.
and Kim Boykin.
And Kim
Oh,
Boykin is the one who actually brought me in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved him.
Oh,
Anyway,
I miss. She's living in Sedona now. I say, where's that next book coming out, Kim? I think she's a glorious writer.
She is a
She
great
is.
Kim
She
Boykin.
absolutely is.
Mhm.
But God, it's so good to see you all.
I remember going
So
to
you-
my first event with Ron, and it was,
Yes.
it was like April, but it was like snowing in Ohio. It was
it
freezing
was.
cold. It was raining.
That
And I
sounds like
remember
April in
thinking,
Ohio.
and of course, Kathy Bennett had set
Look
it
who it
up,
is.
and I thought, no one is going to come see me in the rain and the cold in Ohio. And then I met Ron and all these amazing readers, and it has been like my favorite event ever since. It's so
We have so much fun. And I love that, like, a lot of people were, they came like, who's this? But then they just grew and grew and grew. And oh, I wish you were coming for this one because I think we'd have a full house.
Oh, by the way, how is it in the hot Ohio? Are you getting a lot of snow out there?
We are iced over.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's
just
worse. That's
terrible
worse.
temperatures. We got like 12 inches of snow. Icicles. It's pretty.
Wow.
But it's so cold and so. Ugh.
So stay safe and stay indoors. Everybody can have a good book to read while they
I
stay
might have a
indoors.
few. I might have a few around here. But I
I mean,
have to go.
I think we have a few too. You guys, I was looking at my dining room table and my mom was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, no, these are the books that I got today and yesterday.
Easy.
Oh, I'm so excited. Today I got Mary Kay Andrews' advanced reading copy of The Newcomer. I can hardly wait to dive in. I'm so excited.
This
Yeah,
is
we
what
were
I
just
got
talking.
today.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Yeah,
on
I
somebody's
don't know
radar
what
now.
I can't even imagine how many you get. I mean, mine are mostly like friends and fiction related and like
Yeah.
a blurb or two, or like a good friend that, and but I'm so excited. Like every time I get one, it's like
It's at Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
and I
thrilled.
go home, we just got down to Tybee yesterday. We were home for 10 days. And when I got home from being down here for 2 weeks, there was stacks of books. So exciting. Like, oh my God, what did I miss out on? And then I know we got down here yesterday, and we'll be here for another 2 weeks. I know that when I get back, I'm probably going to have my daughter open up some packages and overnight them down to me. But
Oh, yeah.
You
and I
probably
listen
look like
audio.
Barnes and Noble by the time you get home.
How long, are you
Yeah.
there for quite a while this time, Mary Kay?
Yeah, we're here for probably about 2 weeks. They're getting into the nitty gritty on Coquina Cottage, and Tom
Yeah.
needs to be there. And I mean, I
I
can do
am-
it.
Ron's
I
going to be your
love
first
it.
customer. He's
I
going to get out
am.
of
How did you
Ohio.
know? How did you know? I was just going to say, I want to be the first renter.
Get in line, buddy, get in line.
Come down and,
Oh,
and
Brenda, you
run a
muted.
book event.
Oh, sorry. It's so exciting to see the photos. Thank you for sharing those. It's really
Oh,
neat to see
yeah.
it
It
coming
is fun.
together.
I love it.
She
Yeah.
has such a signature style of decorating.
Yeah,
so-
junky.
Beautiful.
No, but junky,
it's
like
not.
shabby
No,
chic
no,
is the
no.
expression.
Chic, yeah,
So
shabby chic.
charming and warm.
Whatever it is, it totally works.
Totally.
It's
Totally
your
works.
signature.
I went, Ron took me junking.
That's right.
Ah,
Yeah, what my favorite thing was when he and Jeff, his husband, took me to Chagrin Falls, where I was like, so it's not just a Bullwinkle joke.
I know. I was like, what?
Chagrin Falls is a real place. It's a charming little
Wow.
town in
It's
Ohio.
so charming. It's so
Oh, and it's
charming.
called Chagrin Falls, like
It's a real
Chagrin.
place. Yeah.
Yep.
Chagrin
Wow.
Falls.
And we stopped and had a bite to eat, and it was a place on one side, it's a little restaurant. We get a bite to eat and have a glass of rosé. The other side is a glass blowing factory. So it's,
Oh,
cool. That always goes together.
That is
Ron and Jeff
awesome.
know all the best places. There's no
I know,
doubt.
and they have promised. If I, you know how it is with how it used to be with book tour.
Used to be.
Mhm.
You'd hit one town, and Jeff was and Ron was like, okay, next time you come, Rock Music Hall of Fame, and of course, next time never happened.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, I really, I'm dying to go there actually.
I am
I've never
too.
been. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you got to hook up.
Do you all know that Kristen is a rock drummer?
No.
Is she
Yeah.
now?
Metallica. No, what's your name?
Oh,
Mystica.
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 But
Kristen,
I do
you
play
didn't
the
s-
drums.
You didn't say that last night.
I know she brought it up and I totally forgot.
Oh my
It-
gosh.
it slipped
Yeah,
away,
I
but yes,
did not
do
know
play the
that.
drums.
And in fact,
Yeah.
I'd heard about Mary Alice and the Christies, but not.
Yeah, with Mystica as our star.
Yeah, the famous
Yeah.
band.
Oh.
Who hasn't? Because we are so famous.
Obviously.
One of these days they're going to ask us to perform, girls, and then we're going to be. We have to start practicing.
Then the
Right
jig is up.
now.
Premiere on
I've got
the
my guitar.
premiere on the Friends in Fiction
I
Book
got
Club
you.
page.
Oh my
Prepare
God,
it
they'd have
for
to
ya.
pay big
Yeah.
dollars for us to do that.
And I need to be there going like, and now, Lon.
Yes,
You
you
know
will
what?
have-
I say we just stage it outside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, just skip the steps.
There
We're
you
obviously
are.
gonna get in
Well,
eventually.
Yes.
Actually,
Yeah.
I might know people.
Oh, well,
I
then
know
we need to
people.
talk about that. We need to plead the case of Chubby Checker, Ron Block, if we're talking about that. So I'll circle back.
Oh,
All right.
he's not in the Hall of Fame. Oh my God,
He's
he's
not?
Mr. Twist.
Nope.
It's
He
amazing
should
how
be.
many
Wow.
really great musicians. I listened to satellite radio, and I heard Tom listens to, what do you listen to, Tom? Classic rock, and they listed the names of the people on the ballot for this year, and I kept
Yep.
saying, they're not on the ballot. I mean, they're not in there. How can that
Yeah.
be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Tina Turner,
How is that?
Turner's not in?
Yeah.
He's not?
Wow.
Carol King.
What?
Wow.
Carol King?
Carol King's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No.
That makes no, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Wow.
Guys, we're gonna have to start some petitions.
Wow.
There's all there is to
Yeah.
Well, I think you can go online and right now and you can do the fan votes to get them in. So they have the whole list of nominees. Then we have to narrow it down. But I voted for Dionne Warwick because
Oh, yeah.
she's a
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
on Twitter.
Jan
Right.
Warwick is not? I mean, I
Nope.
can't think of that whole era without, do you know the way to San Jose? Dee, 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 dee. I mean, wow.
These are our lead singer, ladies.
Yeah, that's why
I wanna
that's why
get
it's Mary
in.
Alice and the
So
Christies.
Mary Alice's lead vocals.
Right.
I play the
She's
drums.
gonna
Kristen's on drums.
ballot next
Kristen's
year.
on drums.
Yeah.
I'm on finger snapping, but I don't snap my fingers the right way.
Oh, I can. Can I do finger snapping?
I've got a tambourine I bought for somebody to use. Oh, is that Metallica's? Is that in your arena?
Oh,
Tambourine. I
Step
don't
on
know. I
her
don't want to step on
toes.
we could just be a fully percussion based band with Mary
Sure.
Alice on vocals.
I
It'll
could
be the new
play
thing.
like 1 to 3 James Taylor songs on the guitar.
Oh,
Hey, please
Hey,
say James
good
Taylor's
start.
in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yes.
He has to be.
Yes, he is. He's-
surely.
Wow.
new
a-
friend. New mission of Friends in Fiction: elect people to the Hall of Fame who should be there, right? We support independent booksellers, we bring readers together, and we nominate musicians to the Hall of Fame, right?
Just
Collectively.
goes to show you
That's
never
a
know
new
what's
avenue.
It's a
going
list
to
of
happen.
things to do.
That's
It's-
right, Brenda. You never know what's going to happen.
You know,
It's
Ron,
the-
what you should do is you should invite the Fab Five, all of us, to the Cuyahoga Library for a big event. And then we can all go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Ron. Hint, hint.
Do it whenever you are ready to go. I got
That
you.
would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yes, I have a huge auditorium. We can.
Yeah.
Oh, we could get. Oh, we could. Yeah,
Yeah, we can do this.
we could. And we'll have a big food event too.
Fantastic.
Mary-
Lisa, Brenda, are you guys
Mary Kay, you're in.
I'm in.
Lisa, Brenda, you coming? All right.
Oh,
We can be your
absolutely.
backup
Yeah,
dancer.
Lisa and Brenda can come.
Yes.
They can be our roadies.
Lisa will coordinate our outfits as usual.
Yes.
Because y'all are always matching anyway, so it'll
We
only
match. We have like the exact same wardrobe, so we'll
Right,
just coordinate
right.
which of the shirts we're bringing. Yep.
My
Yes.
career as a backup dancer. I can't
I
wait.
didn't know.
And
Honestly, I had no idea tonight was going to be so much fun.
Oh,
Dreams coming true. Dreams coming
Yeah.
true.
Ron, have you
So-
started booking any in-person events yet?
No, we're not looking at doing it until probably at least the fall.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
sad. It's
Yeah.
it's sad here,
So-
but
Is
You
that
know-
directed by the library because they just don't want to take any chances or is that publisher driven?
we
or
work
what?
it's both. Some publishers are like, like the publishers are going like, we're only doing virtual and we're not doing any until in person till at least August or September.
Right.
Thinking about even, but now we're booking them for both virtual and so we can pivot whichever way we need to go.
Right.
Fingers.
Well, a couple of us have secret projects that will be out in the fall. 3 of us have secret projects for fall release.
I'm looking at 2 of them right there.
Mine's not
Two of
super
them.
secret anymore. I announced
Well,
Right,
you
Kristen,
know.
isn't it?
Christmas in Peachtree Bluff. So
I
we can
am
do
so
Christmas
excited for that.
at the Cuyahoga Library.
You know it.
Cuyahoga Bluff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It'll be so much fun. It'll be do it. I got you. I got you.
And
All of
Ron,
you.
my book's out in July, which is practically October, right? So like I'm there.
Yeah, come
I
on.
feel like that would be like a really fun time though, because like Mary Alice and Kristen, y'all probably won't be on the road promoting your summer books, and so there's some secret projects that I cannot divulge, but there would probably be a lot for us to talk about in October.
There would.
Well-
there would indeed.
Well, before I can make a decision about that, you'll all have to tell me offline about these secret projects.
Okay.
I'll need to know what they are so I can plan accordingly.
Yeah.
But I just had a brilliant thing. They do in the summer, they do outdoor tent events at the Rock Hall. Imagine if we did a panel
Oh,
on one of their outdoor stages at the
That's
Rock Hall.
So
And people could come and
fun.
socially distance.
And Kristen
Love it.
Kristen can play the drums.
Yeah.
Kristen can bring her drum kit. You have a drum kit, right?
I used to have a drum kit. My mom sold it to some poor, unsuspecting other neighbor whose kids wanted to play the drums.
My
but-
Oh,
son-in-law is a washed up rock drummer turned electrical engineer, and I think he still has his drum kit.
I don't. I did once go on tour with Chubby Checker though. I really did. True
I have a
story.
mandolin.
I
So I
love
can play
that.
I have a bongo drum and I can you can play that. And like I'll do my guitar and you can play the
People
bongo.
do like Japanese drums. Everyone plays the drums.
I have, a comb, I have a comb and some cellophane.
You know, Noah has a keyboard that makes regular sounds, or you can switch it and it makes cat sounds. So if you want, I can do like meow 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 meow
No,
meow meow
No,
meow.
no.
Actually, it'd be fun to do a big outside tent event. That would be a lot of fun.
Good. And then we'll have to decide which outfits from the Rock Hall that you'll each get to wear. Like who will wear the Lady Gaga meat dress?
Is she in?
She's not in the
Lady
Rock
Gaga?
Hall, but
Oh, I was going to say.
they have a lot
whoa.
of things there of people, and
I
yeah,
just-
her meat dress is there.
The minute that you said that though, I just saw myself in like a gold sequin jumpsuit. So I feel like that's gonna have to be my outfit. Like it's like, you know, once it's like your first answer is the right answer, you know?
Yes.
Yep.
Always
Katy
say
Perry.
yes to gold.
Katy Perry's dress
Oh,
is there.
she's got great costumes.
I just see myself in the Stevie Nicks Couture line, which mostly looks like cobwebs.
Yeah, that's true. It does.
It's
So,
all it's
I
all
want-
like Rihanna scarf. That's what I see myself.
Yeah.
I want Tina Turner's dress with that short skirt.
Oh, when I visited, I had a friend here who got me the behind the scenes tour, got 10, 12 years ago. And they take you down into the vault where they have things that they don't put out on display. And one
Yeah.
of them was the Tina Turner fringe dress from Proud Mary. Like,
Wow.
you know, I mean, that's iconic, right? I'm like,
Wow.
oh,
That's
And-
really cool.
Mary
clothes
Alice,
of Janis Joplin. Oh,
we'll get you a spray tan on your legs and then you
I'm
can
definitely going to need that.
That's why I've
Once-
chosen Stevie Nicks because it all looks like a shroud.
That's right. Lots of fails and stuff. Yeah.
Bre-
it's very
I have
Brenda-
to put my-
And hats.
Y'all, I have to go because I have to have my pasta.
Oh,
Hey, Ron, I'm doing the TikTok baked feta tonight. So
you are?
Ooh.
yes,
Report back.
I will.
Brenda
Love
and
you
Lisa.
guys.
But may I just congratulate Brenda and Lisa on a wonderful first 45 minutes before we came in and took it totally off the rails.
thank you for inviting us. And Ron
This is what we wanted.
they're not
Thank
going
you
to
so
invite
much.
us again.
Oh, I just love you all. I love you all. And I can't wait to see you again. And
We
Stay
love
in
you,
touch.
Brenda. We love you,
Oh,
Brenda.
we
and
miss
Lisa.
Stay warm, Ron.
you
stay
too.
warm. Lisa
Lots of
and
stuff.
Brenda, thank you. Love
Thank
you.
I'll
you
take
guys
all
for
of you.
joining us.
Thank you guys for letting
Thank
us.
Love
you
you.
so much.
Bye.
We
Bye.
love you guys.
Rock and roll.
Bye.
You
Rock
never
and
know.
roll hall, here we go.
Oh, no, Christy, are you still there? Look.
Look, look,
Oh,
You guys are twins too.
we're twins.
I'll send you
Be
coffee
my
to put in it.
Ron, I have got to tell you, this is another like not on topic conversation, but a reader that I met in Atlanta, we like really bonded over our love of Henry Bendel, and she had like a little clutch that she had never, like it was still in the box that she sent me a couple weeks ago, and she was like, I just thought this would make you happy, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
of course. Yes. Yes.
Not a
It
bad
makes
little
me
surprise.
so happy. Yes. And I just as a very big aside, a really quick aside. Okay, in the book, Christy, you talk about being in Palm Beach, and
Yes.
that the character towards the beginning is going to stay maybe at the Colony.
Yes.
Is it the Colony in Delray Beach?
It's
Just a little south.
no, there's a Colony Hotel in Palm Beach.
There
Actually,
is.
there a few weeks ago, but don't tell anyone. But none of us got COVID, so it's okay. I can
And no, because there is a Colony hotel in Delray Beach, which I lived like a block from there, and it's this
me.
it's this old big like crazy tropical. It's amazing. Anyway,
Nice.
we'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it. But this one's like actually right down. It's like right off of Worth Avenue, like right downtown in Palm Beach.
I loved it there. Oh my God, and then Clematis put in there. Ah.
So we have so much to talk about with this book. Like, how can we not be on book tour this year? It's just not.
Right.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
Well, thank you to the book club because we can talk about our books in the
Mhm.
book club,
Yeah, that's
which is
true.
great. Thank you.
yeah,
We're looking forward to it with you guys.
we so are. It's just fabulous.
All right. Good night, everybody. Ron, stay warm.
Good night.
Good night.
Enjoy those martinis.
Take care. Take good care.
Brenda
Don't
and
show it.
Lisa.
One more look. Ooh.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna go have one.
I'll
Hey,
dream
It's
of it
terrible.
tonight.
You're not missing anything. It's
40
awful.
days. Yikes.
It's awful, she says, sipping. Brenda and Lisa, thank you for putting this together. You guys ran a wonderful sweeps week. This was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks
we had
so
much
much.
fun.
Y'all
and
are,
Thank you.
Yeah,
y'all are
and
stars. We're so
Ron was
They
just
really are.
the icing on the cake here for the last night. This was wonderful. So thanks for being the icing,
Oh,
Ron.
thank you.
Oh, thank you so
Thanks
much.
for all your
Yeah, they're
kindness
wonderful.
last
They
night, too.
are. They really are.
You're the
Yes.
best.
They're wonderful. They really, I'm so happy they invited me.
So
We're
happy
so
they did
happy you
too.
joined. We still have more to dish about too.
Oh, we do? Good.
Oh,
All right, well, we'll
Okay.
leave because we've been massively distracted.
I have to go put Noah to bed. I didn't do it the last 2 nights, so he's very upset.
Oh,
Aw.
So-
oh.
Noah just had a birthday, right?
Thank you for remembering. How nice of you. Yeah, he just turned 5 last week. So
Yay.
yeah,
Oh,
Oh.
happy birthday.
getting
Oh.
so big.
I guess you
Happy
didn't go to
birthday,
Disney
Dad.
World for it, but
No, which is so sad. I know I miss it so much, but it's still there. We'll be back.
It will come. We
It will
will
come.
we will get past it. But thanks so much for joining us tonight. It was
I
so
know.
fun.
We're so
Thank you,
happy you
Lisa.
guys
Thank
joined
you,
us. And
Ron.
everyone in the chat was
Y'all
so
have a good night.
excited.
Good weekend.
Bye bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
Oh, so,
cheers
right?
to you, Ron.
Thank you for that.
being
Thank you for
awesome.
putting that together. You know I love them so much.
And they love you too. We love you. We love
We-
them. It's nothing but love here at the Friends of Fiction Book Club.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice feeling? It's a nice night off from worrying about the world and things going on and just kind of talk
Oh,
about what we love most, books and writers.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure to have you, Ron. We just
Oh.
are so
Yeah.
excited you joined us, and we're going to be looking forward to a follow-up. I think we discussed maybe quarterly.
I'm in. I'm totally in.
We
I
will
am
do this
totally-
again. We have much more to discuss.
What do we have to discuss yet?
Oh no, I mean like in the future.
Oh,
We can always talk with you.
I hope everybody watching had a good time. I know
I
we
hope
They
so
did.
too.
did. They're excited for everything. There was a couple of questions. The main thing is people wanted to know how you got to know each one of the Fab Five, and I think
And
you
so-
covered that.
Yes. Well, a lot of it started also with back Adriana Trajani, who I met. I think probably before I met Mary Kay, but we became fast friends. You gotta know Ron. You gotta know Ron. You gotta know Ron. And we went to the, Dottie Frank is just so missed and so loved.
Speaking of Dottie Frank, do you mind if I go ahead and give a quick? This was going to be one of my picks.
Oh,
It's the short story anthology that's coming out. I'm not sure if I can grab the date, but it's some of our Fab Five authors have written stories in honor of Dottie Frank in here, and that's just going to be
I
a
think it's
very
April.
brilliant release.
it is towards the end of
I think
April.
it's April 27th.
I want to
April
know how you got a
27th, I
physical
believe.
copy of it. I only have an e-copy.
No, we don't have we don't have a copy, do we, Lisa? She's still holding
I'm
it
sure
up.
your physical copy is on the way.
I know. No. So
Book mail is the best mail.
it is. Oh my God. Every day. I always get so excited. So speaking of Dottie, I thought we talked about this, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to quickly share my Dottie story.
Yes, please
Oh.
do. I
Please
think
do.
our readers will love
When
it.
I moved to Ohio, I was like, oh, none of my Southern writers are going to come up here. None of them are, because I came from Florida where we did a lot of things together. So, and Dottie, of course, is a favorite, all-time favorite. I have several Dottie stories, but the one I love the most is she came up here and did an event with me, and she's like, yeah, I kind of put the library towards the end of my tour because libraries generally, there's not very many people that buy the books. And I went, you have never been to my event in Ohio, have you? And she looked at me and I was like, I don't know. Anyway, so we had a bet. I bet that she said, I will not sell 100 copies here. I went, oh, yes, you will. Oh, yes, you will. She was like, all right, I bet you $1. Bet you $1. So we got going. We did our event. It was so fantastic. Tons of people here. And at the end, when people lined up with their books to have her sign them and meet her, she looked at the line and she went, you win. And so I have this lovely dollar bill that she signed and gave to me that says,
Oh,
Ron, you win. XOXO Dottie. And so
Oh,
we were gonna
oh,
do that every year. We were gonna have a bet every year to trade the dollar back and forth and sign it. But that she got sick.
oh,
Anyway, so it's just such
what
a
a
great
great
treasure for me to have. It's such a
story.
great story. It's like, yeah, Dottie, you're gonna sell some books.
that's a
Yeah.
great
Thank
story.
you for
Thanks for sharing
that.
that, Ron. Do you have any events coming up that you'd like to mention before we wind up tonight?
I do. Okay, I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll be really quick. So on Tuesday of next week, the 23rd at 6 p.m., I am actually going to be a guest with Adriana Trajani on her Adriana Inc. Facebook Live event, and we're going to talk about libraries and Cuyahoga Library specifically, and then she'll have some authors on. But if you haven't tuned into her events before, they're huge. A little nervous. She gets over 400,000 viewers. So
You
well,
are gonna rock it, and we'll
we'll
be
see.
right there
Let's
cheering you
hope.
on.
That's
Thank you.
right.
Good, 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 good. And I'm super excited. March the 12th, Patty Callahan Henry is going to join me for Surviving Savannah. And Patty and I were talking earlier about how we're going to run it. And we're going to try to make people feel as though they were um, a passenger on the ship. Kind of like go through we'll talk about the ship and the history of it and what happens. And then at the end, she's going to tell everybody like whether their person lived or not. So it's gonna be
That's
a lot
so
of fun,
cool.
real different,
Wow.
real fun. And then
And
on
how can people, since for our Friends in Fiction viewers, how can they join that event?
okay, so this event, and so the events I'm talking about are only some of the things that we do at Cuyahoga County. So you go to beyondbookjackets.com and it's a list of all of the events coming and you can register for them right through that link. We do them as a Zoom event, but we also broadcast them live on Facebook. So there's two ways to come with us. And anything I've done in the past or that we've done in the past, you can go to the library's Facebook page and click video, and you can go see that one. So you can see my original interview with Nancy Johnson, The Kindest Lie, and things that are upcoming are there as well. So on the 20th, I'm actually going to go outside I'm on virtual tour. So this is my first stop. My second stop is going to be with
Yay.
Adriana. And then March 20th, I'm going to be on a Mighty Blaze with Jenna Blum. And she's doing an offshoot called Baking with Rach, which is a woman who does a baking show, a cooking show offshoot of that. And I've got my very good friend, Beth Howard, coming on. She's a cookbook author. She's written some amazing books. You want to tune into that for sure. And we're gonna make chess pie. So we'll have some fun with that. On the 22nd of March, I talked about this earlier. We're gonna do Fiction and Race in America with Nancy Johnson and Jodi Picoult. I think it's gonna be really emotional. I think it's gonna be very meaningful, and
I can't wait for that.
I'll try to contain myself.
I
Jodi
signed
Picoult.
up for that as soon as I saw it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be because the two of them have so much to say, and they're just so, they know what they're talking about, and I love
Yeah.
that. And finally, on April the 12th, I am hosting Paula McLean for When the Stars Go Dark with a special guest. I'm not sure if this is finalized yet, but Kristen,
Ooh.
we think it's going to be good. So that's going to be a
You heard it here
super,
first, folks.
I
super
can't
fun
believe
event. Super fun
how
event. So
much news we break.
I know. Look at that. So that's kind of what I have for now. But keep going back to Beyond Book Jackets or follow my Facebook page. Friend me. I'm friendless. I'm kidding. I put everything. My Facebook page is not really just becoming an event page. So there's lots of great things coming up.
Well, we'll share that
love
too.
your events.
I'm sorry, we'll share that too on the book club page, that link.
Yeah,
Great.
we will.
Great. I appreciate it because that's one of the great things about doing these events. We get people from all over, not just the country, but now the world. I've had events with authors, Julia Kelly, was on with me not long ago and just had Christina McDonald. So we had viewers from Europe joining us, and we've had people, believe it or not, from Australia tune in. So it's like it's
Yeah.
crazy, but it's making the world a lot smaller. So I do love the virtual events, but I obviously
do
love the
too.
in-person ones too.
Absolutely. Ron, I just can't tell you how much we've enjoyed spending our evening with you. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm the
thank
one.
you for joining us.
I am so grateful for the two of you and what you do for people, and people just
Oh.
love talking about books. It gets them through the pandemic, and I think it's kind of like re-energized a lot of people and given them a lot of hope in their lives that they might have not had.
It certainly helped me to get through.
Yeah.
But thank you again for joining us. We are so
Yes, thank
excited.
you.
And
Anytime,
we look
anytime.
forward to next quarter.
Yes,
Yes.
I can't wait till the
Me
next
too.
time.
I better get reading.
And thank you to all of our viewers who tuned
Yes.
in tonight. We hope you enjoyed our happy hour. And our next book club meeting is March 15th, where we will discuss The Book Club by Mary Alice Monroe. So we're excited about that. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in all week for our first Friends in Fiction Sweeps week. Brenda, we made it through. I think that deserves. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers to you
Cheers.
for that.
Cheers to
Cheers,
everyone
cheers.
in the chat. And thank you so much. And thank you, Ron.
No, thank you. I was
Everyone,
thrilled.
love each other. Keep reading. Have fun. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Yay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.